Humans versus undead. Round 1. Prepare for war.
Do you remember that old school arcade game called Rampart, the one where you used to build a castle, set up defenses, and defend it against incoming ships? Well, let's take that and let's mix it in with a bit of Clash Royale, and you got a great mix of what is Tabletop Gods. It's fun, polished, addicting, and I can't wait to get back on it. Anyways, CruzerBass here, welcome to the channel, I'm glad you stopped by. Here are my first impressions on Tabletop Gods, a new title that can be played on desktop and VR, and one that's a lot of fun and I've been hooked on a lot lately. Let me break down why. So let's dive right into gameplay. You're put in the position of a god with a top-down view over a map, and you're at war with another god. The way to achieve victory in these battles is by destroying every tower the opponent has, or having the most towers up after the 3 rounds are up. So before the battle starts, you get the opportunity to set up defenses. Each building does a different thing and has a different mana cost associated to it. You have a base mana pool of 12, spend it wisely, strategize where you put your buildings, because it's going to matter a lot in the battle coming forward. Now once both players set up their defenses, the battle begins. You get given mana over time, and periodically it increases in speed as the battle rages on. And then you have to decide which units to put out where and why, as every unit has its own focus and you have to strategically place them in the correct positions to get the maximum value out of your mana. As an example, let's talk about the archers. Once placed down, they don't move, but they defend that position with all they got. That being said, if you misplace them and put them too close to where an enemy can spawn some foot soldiers, they're gone. And I gotta say, I'm really impressed with how balanced the game actually is right now. Every unit has its counter and it's been well thought out, the map layouts are even, and it makes for a great experience. In fact, going online, I've picked up a thing or two from other players and strategies that I now put into my play myself. So other than putting units down and strategically placing them in the correct position, you also have to manage these 2 spell abilities given to every player. So the first spell is a 3 mana cost armor buff that makes the selected units take less damage. The second being a 6 mana cost fireball type nuke that destroys everything in the area selected. Note that this can damage defensive buildings placed by the other player, but not the towers themselves. You can also choose to swap out both of these spells for Dark Shroud, which would prevent any ranged attacks or poison attacks on your units, or you can swap it out for Stasis, which prevents enemy units from moving or attacking and leaves them vulnerable to your unit's attacks. Now that you know about the gameplay, let's talk about the features. Here's a breakdown of what you can expect. So this game offers multiple game modes, everything from single player missions where you can progress through chapters, to practice with bots to put your skills to the test, arenas if you want to go spectate a lobby, as well as wait in queue and wait your turn while watching other players play, or you can just hop on, go to quick match, and get through a match as soon as possible. Everything's there that you need for a great game, and frankly, I'm really happy to see the options available. Currently, the game has 2 races, human and undead, each one having its own units and each one having its own map layout. Each map layout is varied and you have to learn the different nuances to get the upper hand. Just as a beginner tip, don't forget that the undead map layout has swamps. Units can cross these swamps, so make sure you defend both the outer lanes, the middle bridge, and the swamps in between. Now when it comes to units, every race has its own set, but there are also neutral specific units that can be used by either class. You get to swap in and out units during the defensive stage, and you can only take a total of 6 with you in each battle. So make sure you choose wisely and plan that out properly. Now the biggest feature, and one that I hope to see a lot more of, is crossplay between VR and desktop players, and soon PSVR as well. As I'm sure many VR enthusiasts would agree, crossplay is a big addition to a VR game when it makes sense, and I'm hoping to see more of it when it perfectly fits into the genre. Speaking of which, I really have to comment on how well this game plays on both desktop and VR, and even more so how interesting it is to see the benefits of each platform. I would say that the desktop has the benefit of being more precise and faster when it comes to selecting units and placing them down, but playing in VR definitely grants you more awareness of what your opponent is doing due to the bigger field of view and the immersion. I really can't wait to see other players get better at this game to see who comes out on top, desktop players or virtual reality users. Honestly, I feel like VR might have the upper hand here. Who knows though? I can't wait to see it play out as more players play this game and get into it. Now to conclude, I really want to say I recommend this game. It's well thought out, it's polished, and it's addicting to play, and I can't wait to get back to it, either on my desktop or my VR system. Seriously, it felt like a breath of fresh air playing Tabletop Gods in VR because there's not many titles that take on this genre, and it fits it so perfectly. Also, I just want to give a quick shout out to Ghostfish Games. If you're watching this, you did an amazing job on this title, and I can't wait to hop back on. Links to your game will be posted below in the description. I'll put a link to their Discord server below. Be sure to check it out, as they're constantly talking with their community and keeping them updated with all the new features being added to the game, as well as patch notes, and even setting up game days. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I really do recommend checking out Tabletop Gods. Be sure to hit the notification bell below to keep up with my new videos and my series VR Visionaries, where we take a look at games and the developers behind them, as well as VR Essentials, where I only recommend the best of the best that VR has to offer. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, as it means a lot to me and I appreciate it greatly. Have a great day, and peace.